Hey, good morning and happy Aloha Friday. About every 2 weeks or so, I'll be sending out a teacher update or team update to parents via the Parent Square. And I'll also be making a video that kind of narrates exactly what I'm going to be going over. And the idea here is this will provide you as a parent or caregiver some kind of talking points with your child. I know how kids are, and a lot of times if you ask them, "What'd you do at school today?" you're going to get the "nothing, it was boring," and that kind of response. And so this is just kind of to give you some good talking points that might help facilitate that conversation. So, if you guys talk about school at dinner and those types of things, this will just give you some talking points. And so, first of all, if you haven't been in a classroom in the last several years, it's kind of important to understand that education is not what it was when we were kids. There's a lot of changes that have taken place. There's a lot of reasons for those changes. The increased use of technology, new safety procedures, COVID, social emotional support and staffing issues, all of those have made education a lot more challenging. And our world is a very dynamic place, and so are our classrooms. Probably one of the biggest changes is grading. And I like to think of grading as feedback and not something to be used as a positive reward or a negative punishment. And so homework is much more a dialogue where, I'll provide feedback to the students. I do expect them to correct their work or better their work to demonstrate growth and learning and then resubmit that. And so, in simple terms, what that means is all assignments and labs can be redone as many times as they want and, to get the grade that they want. But in order to get that feedback, I need something turned in. And that means that, if no work is completed and I can't provide feedback, they will be getting a zero. Now, in years past, those zeros were converted into 50%. That will no longer be the case. Now, there's some other changes that have happened in the grading policy that I'll go over later, but that's really the big change that has taken place. And so, a good thing to do as a parent is to kind of keep an eye on Canvas. And so Canvas is kind of the front line of how we provide our content. And if you go into Canvas and click on grades, this is kind of what it looks like. And what you want to pay attention to is this number one column, or status. And what you can see there is if there is an assignment that's missing, it'll be marked as missing. And then another thing I want you to look for is over here on number 2, you can see it's real hard to see, and I apologize, but that's just the way Canvas works. If I'm providing feedback, there'll be a little comment tab over here, which has the comment as far as what I'll be providing feedback for. Basically, what I'm looking for was the entire assignment completed? Did they demonstrate understanding? And did they put forth their best effort? That's really what I'm looking for in that homework, classwork kind of assignment, or practice is what we call that. And this would be an example of what that feedback might look like. Once you click on that, you can see that this is what was submitted by the student. And then over here will be the comments that I've then provided back that, again, establish that feedback loop. So student does work. I provide feedback in the form of grades and comments. They then look at that information and then resubmit. And so it's, a big circle or back and forth feedback loop. I like to think of it as kind of feed forward versus feedback, and try to get out ahead of that a little bit. Another good thing to look at then in Skyward is up here at the top of the family access, the grade then that is reported into Skyward. If there are any missing assignments, those will show up here, or they'll be listed as a 0. So that's something that you'll want to kind of keep in mind as those go on. So again, I'll have some additional information on grades later on. We're just now starting to put grades in from this last week and a half. Some other things we've been working on in class is just simply breathing. Breathing practice is something that I find very, very valuable for middle school students. It really helps kind of quiet that crazy teen brain, gets them, better focused. It helps deal with their tension and stress, and is just a wonderful thing. I practice myself and find really, really good. I'll also put a link to the Canvas Parent and Guardian Orientation course in the information about this, and just some quick important dates. We have started our fundraiser. You got information on that already, and I am submitting our paperwork today for our Red Team field trip to the zoo. That will be September 26th, Thursday, September 26th. If you are interested in being a parent, volunteer, or chaperone for that, I will need you to complete the background information. So I know that's still, a month and a half away, but I know also as working parents, sometimes you got to get that information put in to get a day off. So I'm going to put it in there real early, and as well as the chaperone background information, which we'll need you to complete, and that takes a little while to get that back as well. So, wanted to get that information out right away. We have not told the kids. So I've mentioned to a couple classes that were going to the zoo, but I've not given them a date or anything like that. So the kids won't know anything about it. So just, more information will come on that. As far as what's happening in science, we've been working on collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data. I think we're going to go outside today. It's going to be a beautiful day, and do some observations in the green space back behind the school. And we had our first vocab quiz in science. In biology, we've been dealing with characteristics of living things, specifically like the science of life or science of biology. We did our first lab this week where we observed the behavior of pill bugs. And I also have created a Google photo album for my classes. I'll put a link to that in the email as well. Well, in the Parent Square page. So a lot of this information will be linked in there as well. So thank you so much for everything you do to support the learning and growth that happens in my classroom. As if you have any questions, you can always email me. You can drop a comment down here in Parent Square. In Parent Square, I will only see the comments, though not everybody will see those. Or if you just want to, drop me a private message, that's fine as well. I will respond within 24 hours, if not less. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and enjoy.